We wasn't expecting to do this podcast, but Grigor Dimitrov has just tested positive for coronavirus. The Adria tour consequently has been cancelled. The final against Djokovic Rublev. There were loads of players involved, fans, physios, trainers, literally the US Open. Is that going to go ahead? Stay tuned and find out in this podcast. So, Ben, literally what we were saying the other day on our last podcast, US Open, we was talking about the Adria Tour. We just didn't sit right with us.
Mate, I knew it when you said it. But this tournament itself and bringing everybody together within this tournament and this going out and this partying, everyone with their tops off together. There's just been this camaraderie, which is great to see. But
it's not in this time, mate. It's literally middle fingers up to everyone at the moment.
Mate,
and, I don't know what's going to happen now. I'll be honest with you. I think the backlash is going to be huge from this. It's irresponsible. It's not just... I'm not going to just sit here and just say it's just Djokovic's fault. There's a lot of people around him for a tournament to go ahead who's made it go all clear. You've got to look at the Serbian authorities, the people who allowed for the tournament to happen.
Yeah.
There's loads of people think. But at the end of the day, Djokovic is going to be the face of this whole tournament.
Sure.
And the buck's on the low of him. It should not have happened.
Well, you look at the whole situation for the whole thing, though. Like, the whole thing about it is Serbia doesn't have many cases, this type of thing. And then you've gone ahead and you've just run this thing, but you've run it in the most unsafe way possible, really. You've run it with ball girls, ball boys, big filled stands, people getting together, everybody not social. It's a recipe for disaster.
There's big photos with like 100-odd kids.
Yeah, it's just recipe for disaster. No, you are asking for trouble.
Crowds.
Yeah, you're asking
for football matches before.
Yeah, you're literally asking for something bad to happen with this. The fact that everybody else in every other country is trying their best to at least hold events behind closed doors, and you go out and you hold something like this, it's irresponsible to say the least. I think it's just proven now. And it's just...
Yeah, one thing I want to clarify, though, I don't want people to be watching this and think, oh, they're just jumping on the bandwagon now because it's happened. Anyone's good in hindsight. If it wouldn't think everyone would have been like, oh, brilliant, the tournament was a great success. Don't get me wrong, it looked like they had a lot of fun, but it's just not the time, is it, for it?
No.
And evidently, and I don't want it to appear to be like, oh, I told you so, but we were saying on the last podcast, literally about the Adria Tour and our concerns with it. You was extremely vocal in the fact that obviously Djokovic was in close contact with that basketball player.
Yeah, I mean,
who tested positive for coronavirus. Where's that come from? It's just a complete mystery, and the whole tournament should not have been held.
And the worrying thing
should not have been held.
Yeah, and the worrying thing now is obviously now everybody has been in contact with Grigor Dimitrov, and you just don't know how many people, because you've seen these. They've all been out partying. They've all been out, like, everybody's been in very close contact with each other. So you just don't know how many more people. It's supposed to be a low affected nation. Now this could have spread like tens of cases, like 20 cases, 30 cases. You don't know now. Like, this is what I mean.
It does not discriminate. It does not discriminate. We've seen it now. It's taken over the world. It spreads like wildfire. And there's a lot of people questioning the fact that the US Open should maybe not even be going ahead because of like safety and other elements and the unfairness for the other players. But this could be the nail in the coffin now for the US Open. You not think?
Me personally, I don't think it'd be the nail in the coffin for the US Open.
Yeah, but why? It's going to go ahead. What about teams? The team will play. The team was playing the Adria Tour.
No, but that's their own fault. These players, if they decided to go and play in a tournament that was not safe, and they knew that there was going to be not behind closed doors, that is up to them. Now they have to suffer the consequences. Like, unfortunately, if you're going to go out partying and go out with your top...
No Rublev.
There's not going to be any of these players.
He wasn't out partying. No,
it doesn't matter. You chose to go to that tournament. You chose to believe over the governments, over like the world, like what the world has to say. You chose Djokovic's say over that, or whatever that tournament. It's not. But the Serbian. Yeah, but the tournament set up by Djokovic and the Serbian like authorities, let's say, or the Serbian Tennis Association, they have to be accountable for these players all missing perhaps a Grand Slam if it comes to it. Like, that's the reality. And look how many top players there are there. And look, that could be. Look, Rafa Nadal probably licking his lips right now. He's probably thinking this is in the bag, mate. He's like, I can't do any wrong. He's probably got that US Open title sewed up in his mind.
Yeah, but come on, from a humanitarian perspective, we do wish Dimitrov a speedy recovery.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
it's
I don't
not a
have
nice
it.
thing to have, and at the end of
I'm
the
not
day,
saying it in that sort of sense. I'm saying literally, if they wanted the tournament to go ahead and they wanted the tournament to be a success and they wanted the US Open to actually go ahead with as little problems as possible, this is probably the worst thing that could have happened, really. Like, because now we're looking at, they're probably going to reevaluate the whole thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen now.
Yeah, but
I don't think it will happen. We'll find out. Basically, the reason I say this, I don't want to be pessimistic, but this is just the beginning. Like, he's been tested positive, but I'm sure there's going to be a few other players or
14 days,
or staff,
now.
or yes, what I'm saying. There's going to even if they don't test positive, it could come out and spread across. We don't know what the effects of this tournament has been now. That's just the one sign. It's just the start. And like, you remember how it all started back months ago. There's a Premier League player who contracted it. I think the Arsenal manager, and then just from there, it just sort of went out of proportion. There's loads of footballers and different things. I thought, unfortunately, this could happen again.
For me,
it's just the timing, because especially we was in such a good place with the whole thing.
Yeah.
It seemed like everyone was pulling together. Nobody was playing these tournaments. People were just literally keeping to the distance.
Yeah, I don't want to be super negative.
Ruined. All the hard work's gone now, isn't it? Out the window.
Well, I don't want to be super negative, but we've been watching tournaments over the past month or so, and none of them have been held in the same way this tournament's been held. Like, how come this tournament is not behind closed doors? How come this tournament has ball boys? How come this tournament... There's so much light on this tournament. It's just the media. Everybody is around this tournament.
I'm going to be
completely
honest with you. When I saw it on Twitter the first time, I had to double check the year. I wasn't sure if it was actually like now. I was looking at it and thinking, this can't be right now. Surely not. It just didn't sit right. I could not believe it. I genuinely could not believe what I was seeing when I saw it come up on my Twitter feed. And saw everyone the first thing I saw was like a big picture of everyone together, hugging each other. At the press conference, they're making jokes. Then there's a video of them partying together, playing football matches, sweating on each other. It's just completely, there's been no consideration for the 2 meter rule, trying to play it in safe conditions. It's just been like coronavirus does not exist. And it just seems bizarre because it's such a bad, we're not even over the first wave yet.
And
people keep talking about the second wave.
These people are the people you're looking up to. You're supposed to be looking up to these people. And that's the problem. Like, obviously, the other countries have taken it a lot more seriously. And we've been seeing a lot of people, they've been going to the net, picking up their own ball. They've been just have one umpire. That's it. Just 2 people and an umpire. We've had packed stands. What is that about? Like, how come that is allowed? Now we're seeing what are the repercussions going to be from that now? Like, all these people are probably meeting the players. We've seen people having photos with players. We've seen loads of stuff like that. There could be tons of cases from this one tournament now. And I think it's just who's accountable. We've obviously seen people making jokes in poor taste as well. What was a legend of the sport? Goran Ivanisevic coming out and making jokes about himself not having the virus on court in front of all the fans, and
everyone cheering along. It's just been a complete mockery. It's like they've not. It's like everyone there was in a bubble that it can't affect them. And this whole argument that there's not many cases there. This virus does not discriminate. Trust me, it only takes one, and then that's it. And then it just spreads.
Exactly.
It just spreads.
And I'm like not being. I'm not trying to point fingers at certain people or anything like that. But you got certain players have gone over there. Like Alexander Zverev, doesn't even look like he's been trying the whole bloody time he's been over there. What's the point of him even going over there? He seems to have lost nearly every single match he's been over there against lesser opposition as well. And for what? Now what? Like that, just a jolly up, it looks like. He's been out partying with the rest of them. And he hasn't really been there to play his best tennis, has he? He's not really been putting on a show for the fans or anything. Just there, just to go flying on a private jet, meet Djokovic, team, the rest of them, and do what?
I don't know.
It's embarrassing, mate.
Like I said, this news has just broke. We literally saw it pop up, and we thought we have to do a podcast on this because it's something, as you can see, we feel quite strongly about it. And it's not just that, we were so excited about the return of tennis to a level. I was still a bit skeptical about it even returning, but I just don't see it happening now. Like, this is just taking it to the next level, and I just hope Dimitrov and whoever else has been infected, they have a speedy recovery.
Yeah, for sure.
So with them, but what happens now, man? What happens now?
I just feel like we were just getting into we're just moving forwards in the sport, and now you probably with
not
tennis,
even in the sport in general, in the world in general. I feel like we was getting to a point. When I would like to clarify, mainly in Europe, we was getting to more of a point where things were starting to reopen. In we've got like gyms and stuff coming back, and stuff like that. Things were looking up, and I feel like maybe even now that's probably not. It's too. Maybe even that's too soon.
Yeah, well, it looks like it a little bit.
I don't seem like, even I was looking the other day, the deaths in England are still there. It doesn't seem like we've really got it under control yet. Is what people are just getting very bored of this whole lockdown thing, making people rightly so very impatient.
The weather's killing everyone as well.
Yeah,
but they want to go out.
And it's just people are getting to the point where they're trying to pretend to themselves that it's not there anymore, so we can just live as normal. When it's still in the first wave, things can potentially get worse unless we find a vaccine anytime soon, which doesn't look likely at the moment.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I'm just really disappointed in another respect, just because there was so much promise in tennis from some of these people who played in that tournament now as well. Like, Dominic Thiem's been on fire. Andre Rublev's been on fire. Now what? Do we lose them for the foreseeable future? We don't know.
The thing is, I'm not sure about Thiem because he's not currently there anymore.
I know,
but he's playing in the other tournament.
There,
he's had two negative tests.
Okay, so he's had 2 negative tests. That's good.
I was reading something about that just now, and he's had 2 negative tests. So in theory, but I don't know how it actually necessarily works as far as he might have 2 negative tests now.
How long ago was he there?
Maybe it's exactly. When did he exactly contract it? How long does it take to show up? Is it an instant thing? I don't know the scientific stuff behind it, but mate, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing if maybe next week he has another test and it's not so good news, is it?
Yeah, but because we don't know. I don't think anybody really knows what. I think they say give it 14 days. No one really knows fully how this virus actually really works. I don't think. I think everyone still has a little bit of guesswork involved.
Still learning for sure.
Yeah, it's only been a few months since it's been taking the world by storm. So I just think people to be going into a tournament and then to be moving from that tournament to another tournament so soon is...
Yeah, I agree.
It's too soon.
I completely agree. The thing is, it's not even just that. It's all the people in the crowds and stuff, all their families. Imagine to their families. It could have affected thousands of people.
Yeah, but these people all have families. These people, you don't know that everybody was probably thinking, Serbia's only had 250 cases, so we're all fine. So we can all go and watch the tennis. Next thing you know, they've all been to
these players. They all come in from other countries.
Yeah, they've all been to watch the tennis. Then they all go and have a selfie with Grigor Dimitrov. They all go back home, and then they sit with grandma who's 80. Now, next thing you know it, that grandma's gone and seen her mates or gone and seen her friends for a cup of tea or something the next day. Then another 7 people have got it. Then that's how it works. It's just horrendous to think that could be killing people, this tournament now. That's what...
I think he's going to be under a lot of scrutiny from other players as well. I've seen a bit of reaction online, but there's a lot of players. We've had a few podcasts, haven't we, now, with different players, and everyone seems to be, with who we've spoken to, taking the matter very seriously. Look at Nkita Reina and stuff. They're not even leaving their house. They're proper and it's just it must be a big kick in the teeth to know that people are taking such big precautions and measures, and they're playing these exhibition tournaments, but not going to be funny. They're pretty boring, most of them. It's it's okay.
It's not the highest
same,
level.
Is it? No, it's not. It's not the same. And they're making all these sacrifices, and it's just they've just been can't bother to do that.
Yeah.
Let's just play in a normal situation. And it's just, I don't know, man. Doesn't sit right, does it? It didn't look right in the pictures and proved to not be right.
Exactly.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about the whole Adria tour? Obviously, it's been proven now that it's been a mistake, but what happens next in the sport of tennis?
Thanks for watching the episode. Like JG said, let us know your comments. Obviously, this is a very testing time for tennis, and we all need to pull together in times like this. So, yeah, all comments are
thoughts out to
appreciated.
Dimitrov anyway, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Yeah.
Peace.